Have you ever noticed how some goals feel impossible? Not because they actually are, but because they feel too far away. $1 million feels like that. Even 100,000 can feel unreal. But 10,000? $10,000 sits in a strange place in our minds. It's not rich. It's not flashy. It won't change your lifestyle overnight. And yet, it changes you. Today, I want to talk about why your first $10,000 is the most powerful money milestone in your life. Not financially, but psychologically. Let me introduce you to Dave. Dave is not special. He's not a finance expert. He's not trying to get rich overnight. Dave is an average guy like you and me. He works a regular job. He earns a decent income. He pays rent, buys groceries, fills up gas, and still wonders where his money goes every month. Dave isn't reckless with money, but he feels bad with money. And that feeling matters, because for years, Dave tells himself the same story. I'm just not a saver. I'll start when I earn more. I'll get serious about money later. Dave isn't lazy. He isn't irresponsible. He's stuck. Income. And the problem isn't income. The problem is identity, because Dave doesn't see himself as the kind of person who saves money. So his actions always match that belief. Most people think saving money is about discipline, about willpower, about tracking every dollar. It's not. It's about proof. Your brain needs proof that you are capable of following through. And nothing provides that proof like the first $10,000. Here's Dave's reality. He earns around $65,000 a year. After taxes, his take-home pay is roughly $4,000 per month. Rent takes a big chunk, then groceries, phone, internet, transportation, a coffee here, takeout there, a few subscriptions he forgot to cancel. At the end of most months, there's not much left. And every month, Dave tells himself, I'll save whatever's left. But there's never anything left. So Dave changes the approach. He doesn't aim for $1 million. He doesn't even aim for $100,000. Dave picks one clear, specific goal, $10,000. Not because it will make him rich, but because it feels achievable. Dave decides to save $500 per month. That's about 12 to 13% of his income. Not easy, but realistic. And then Dave does something important. He doesn't wait to see what's left at the end of the month. He doesn't rely on motivation. He automates it. That $500 moves out of his account as soon as he gets paid. No decision, no debate, no emotional negotiation. And here's where Dave keeps it simple. He takes that $500 and invests it into a broad S&P 500 index fund. That's it. No hot stocks, no hype, no crypto, no chasing the next big thing. Just a simple fund that grows with the overall market over time. Dave isn't trying to be clever. He's trying to be consistent. The first few months feel uneventful. Nothing dramatic happens. Dave still feels normal, sometimes even slightly annoyed. But then something subtle starts to change. Dave notices he doesn't panic when unexpected expenses come up. A car repair doesn't feel like a disaster. A bad month doesn't feel like failure. Because for the first time in his life, Dave has margin. And margin creates calm. 6 months in, Dave checks his account. A few $1,000s. Not life-changing money, but undeniable proof. Proof that this is working. Proof that he can stick to something. And that changes how Dave sees himself. Before, Dave was someone who tried to save. Now, Dave is someone who saves. That identity shift is everything. Because once your brain updates who you think you are, your behavior follows naturally. Dave spends more intentionally. Not because he's forcing himself, but because careless spending no longer matches who he's becoming. This is why the first $10,000 matters more than the second, or the third, or even the first $100,000. The hardest part isn't the math. The hardest part is proving to yourself that consistency is possible. At $500 per month, Dave reaches $10,000 in about 20 months, less than 2 years, not decades, not someday. And during those 20 months, Dave doesn't stop living his life. He still enjoys things. He just stopped letting his money drift without direction. When Dave finally hits $10,000, something important happens. The question is no longer, can I save money? The question becomes, what should I do next? And that's a powerful place to be. Dave starts learning, not from fear, but from confidence. He's no longer guessing who he could become. He has evidence. Evidence that he can delay gratification. Evidence that his actions compound. Evidence that his future self is real. Most people never fail financially. They quit emotionally. They never stay consistent long enough to see themselves change. Dave didn't win because he earned more. He won because he stayed long enough for momentum to take over. If you're watching this thinking, I wish I had started earlier, that means you understand the value now. And if you're thinking, I can't do this, you're wrong. You don't need a raise. You don't need a side hustle. You don't need perfect discipline. You need one clear goal, one simple system, and time. Start with whatever number works for you. $100, $250, $500. But make it automatic, make it boring, make it inevitable. Because the real goal isn't money. The goal is becoming the kind of person who finishes what they start. That's the true power of the first $10,000. And once you unlock that, everything else becomes easier.